welcome back. We're going to finish up this chapter that we're on right now. Again, this chapter is called We Find Out the Truth, sort of. So they just met Hades. Let's see how this goes. Return Zeus's master bolt to me, I said. Please, sir. Let me carry it to Olympus. Hades' eyes grew dangerously bright. You dare keep up this pretense after what you have done? I glanced back at my friends. They looked as confused as I was. Like, what did I do? Uncle, I said, you keep saying after what you've done. What exactly have I done? The throne room shook with a tremor so strong they probably felt it upstairs in Los Angeles. Debris fell from the cavern ceiling, doors burst open all along the walls, and skeletal warriors marched in, hundreds of them from every time period and nation in Western civilization. They lined the perimeter of the room, blocking the exits. Hades bellowed, Do you think I want war, Godling? I wanted to say, well, these guys don't look like peace activists, but I thought that might be a dangerous answer. You're the Lord of the Dead, I said carefully. A war would expand your kingdom, right? A typical thing for my brothers to say. You think I need more subjects? Did you not see the sprawl of Asphodel Fields? Well, have you any idea how much my kingdom has swollen in the past century alone? How many subdivisions I've had to open? I opened my mouth to respond, but Hades was on a roll now. More security ghouls, he moaned. Traffic problems at the Judgment Pavilion. Double overtime for the staff. I used to be a rich god, Percy Jackson. I control all precious metals under the earth, but my expenses. Chiron wants a pay raise, I blurted, just remembering the fact. As soon as I said it, I wished I could have shut my mouth. Don't get me started on Chiron, Hades yelled. He's impossible ever since he discovered Italian suits. Ugh. Problems everywhere, and I've got to handle all of them personally. The commute time alone from the palace to the gates is enough to drive me insane. And the dead just keep arriving. No, Godling, I need no help getting subjects. I did not ask for this war. But you took Zeus's master bolts. Lies! More rumbling. Hades rose from the throne, towering to the height of a football goalpost. Your father may fool Zeus, boy, but I am not so stupid. I see his plan. His plan? You were the thief on the winter solstice, he said. Your father thought to keep you his little secret. He directed you into the throne room of Olympus. You took the master bolts and my helm. Had I not sent my fury to discover you at Yancey Academy, Poseidon would have succeeded in hiding his scheme to start a war. But now you have been forced into the open. You will be exposed as Poseidon's thief, and I will have my helm back. But, Annabeth spoke. I could tell her mind was going a million miles an hour. Lord Hades, your helm of darkness is missing too? Do not play innocent with me, girl. You and the satyr have been helping this hero. Coming here to threaten me in Poseidon's name, no doubt, to bring me an ultimatum. Does Poseidon think I can be blackmailed into supporting him? No, I said. Poseidon didn't. I didn't. I have said nothing of the helm's disappearance, Hades snarled, because I have no illusions that anyone on Olympus would offer me the slightest justice, the slightest help. I can ill afford the word to get out that my most powerful weapon of fear is missing. So I searched for you myself, and when it was clear you were coming to me to deliver your threat, I did not try to stop you. You didn't try to stop us? But return my helm now, or I will stop death, Hades threatened. This is my counter-proposal. I will open the earth and let the dead pour back into the world. I will make your lands a nightmare. And you, Percy Jackson, your skeleton will lead my army out of Hades. The skeletal soldiers all took one step forward, making their weapons ready. At this point, I probably should have been terrified. The strange thing was I felt offended. Nothing gets me angrier than being accused of something I didn't do. I've had a lot of experience with that. You're as bad as Zeus, I said. You think I stole from you? That's why you sent the Furies after me? Of course, Hades said. And the other monsters? Hades curled his lip. I had nothing to do with them. I wanted no quick death for you. I wanted you brought before me alive so you might face every torture in the fields of punishment. Why do you think I let you enter my kingdom so easily? Easily? Return my property! But I don't have your helm. I came for the master bolts. Which you already possess, Hades shouted. You came here with it, little fool, thinking you could threaten me. But I didn't. Open your pack, then. A horrible feeling struck me, the weight in my backpack, like a bowling ball. It couldn't be. We have the ... and ellipse. I slung it off my shoulder, unzipped it. Inside was a 2-foot-long metal cylinder spiked on both ends, humming with energy. Percy does have the lightning bolts. The master bolts. Not good. Percy? Annabeth said. How? I don't know. I don't understand. You heroes are all the same, Hades said. Your pride makes you foolish, thinking you could bring such a weapon before me. I did not ask for Zeus's master bolt, but since it's here, you will yield it to me. And I am sure it'll make an excellent bargaining tool. And now, my helm. Where is it? I was speechless. I had no helm. I had no idea how the master bolt got into my backpack. I wanted to think Hades was pulling some kind of trick. Hades was the bad guy, but suddenly the world turned sideways. I realized I'd been played with. Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades had been set at each other's throats by someone else. The master bolt had been in the backpack. And I'd gotten the backpack from... Lord Hades, wait, I said. This is all a mistake. A mistake! Roared Hades. The skeletons aimed their weapons. From high above there was a fluttering of leathery wings. Uh-oh. And the three Furies swooped down to perch on the back of their master's throne. The one with Mrs. Dodd's face grinned at me eagerly and flicked her whip. There is no mistake, Hades said. I know why you have come. I know the real reason you brought the bolts. You came to bargain for her. Her would mean... You got it, Percy's mom. Hades loosed a ball of gold fire from his palm. It exploded on the steps in front of me, and there was my mother, frozen in a shower of gold, just as she was at the moment when the Minotaur began to squeeze her to death. I couldn't speak. I reached out to touch her, but the light was as hot as a bonfire. Yes, Hades said with satisfaction, I took her. I knew, Percy Jackson, that you would come to bargain with me eventually. Return my helm and perhaps I'll let her go. She is not dead, you know. Not yet. But if you displease me, that will change. I thought about the pearls in my pocket. Maybe they could get me out of this. If I could just get my mom free. Ah, the pearls, Hades said, and my blood froze. Yes, my brother and his little tricks. Bring them forth, Percy Jackson. My hand moved against my will and brought out the pearls. Only 3, Hades said. What a shame. You do realize that each only protects a single person. Try to take your mother, then, little godling. And which of your friends will you leave behind to spend eternity with me? Go on, choose. Or give me the backpack and accept my terms. That's not good. So if you have 3 pearls and you have 4 people to save, who would you save? I think if I'm Percy, I probably would save my mom for sure. I'd probably save Grover and Annabeth, and I'd stay down there myself. Let's see what Percy decides if he gets a chance to decide this. I looked at Annabeth and Grover, and their faces were grim. We were tricked, I told them. Set up. Yes, but why? Annabeth asked. And the voice in the pit. I don't know yet, I said, but I intend to ask. Decide, boy! Hades yelled. Percy. Grover put his hand on my shoulder. You can't give him the bolts. I know that. Leave me here, he said. Use the 3rd pearl on your mom. No! I'm a satyr, Grover said. We don't have souls like humans do. He can torture me until I die, but he won't get me forever. I'll just be reincarnated as a flower or something. It's the best way. No, Annabeth drew her bronze knife. You two go on. Grover, you have to protect Percy. You have to get your searcher's license and start your quest for Pan. Get his mom out of here. I'll cover you. I plan to go down fighting. No way, Grover said. I'm staying behind. Think again, goat boy, Annabeth said. So they're both like trying to die pretty much. It's crazy. Stop it, both of you. I felt like my heart was being ripped in two. They both had been with me through so much. I remember Grover dive-bombing Medusa in the statue garden and Annabeth saving us from Cerberus. We'd survived Hephaestus' Waterland ride, the St. Louis Arch, the Lotus Casino. I had spent thousands of miles worried that I'd be betrayed by a friend, but these friends would never do that. They had done nothing but save me over and over. Now they wanted to sacrifice their lives for my mom. I know what to do, I said. Take these. I handed them each a pearl. Annabeth said, "But, Percy." I turned and faced my mother. I desperately wanted to sacrifice myself and use the last pearl on her, but I knew what she would say. She would never allow it. I had to get the bolt back to Olympus and tell Zeus the truth. I had to stop the war. She would never forgive me if I saved her instead. I thought about what the prophecy made at Half-Blood Hill, what seemed like 1,000,000 years ago. You will fail to save what matters most in the end. So Percy's thinking, that's his mom. I'm sorry, I told her. I'll be back. I'll find a way. The smug look on Hades' face faded. He said, Godling? I'll find your helm, Uncle, I told him. I'll return it. Remember about Charon's pay raise. Do not defy me. And it wouldn't hurt to play with Cerberus once in a while. He likes red rubber balls. Percy Jackson, you will not. I shouted, now, guys! We smashed the pearls at our feet. For a scary moment, nothing happened. Hades yelled, destroy them! The army of skeletons rushed forward, swords out, guns clicking to full automatic. The Furies lunged, their whips bursting into flame. Just as the skeletons opened fire, the pearl fragments at my feet exploded with a burst of green light and a gust of fresh wind. I was encased in a milky white sphere, which was starting to float off the ground. Annabeth and Grover were right behind me. Spears and bullets sparked harmlessly off the pearl bubbles as we floated up. Hades yelled in such rage the entire fortress shook, and I knew it was not going to be a peaceful night in L.A. So that's why they have earthquakes, huh? Look up, Grover yelled. We're going to crash! Sure enough, we were racing toward the stalactites, which I figured would pop our bubbles and skewer us. How do you control these things? Annabeth shouted. I don't think you do, I shouted back. We screamed as the bubbles slammed into the ceiling, and darkness. Were we dead? No, I could still feel the racing sensation. We were going up right through the solid rock as easily as an air bubble in water. That was the power of the pearls, I realized. What belongs to the sea will always return to the sea. For a few moments, I couldn't see anything outside the smooth walls of my sphere. Then my pearl broke through on the ocean floor. The other two milky spheres, Annabeth and Grover, kept pace with me as we soared upward through the water. And kerplunk! They made it to the surface. We exploded on the surface, in the middle of the Santa Monica Bay, knocking the surfer off his board with an indignant, dude! I grabbed Grover and hauled him over to a life buoy. I caught Annabeth and dragged her over too. A curious shark was circling us. A great white, about 11 feet long. Great, so they just did this. Now they're going to die. I said, beat it! The shark turned and raced away. That's power. The surfer screamed something about bad mushrooms and paddled away from us as fast as he could. Somehow I knew what time it was. Early morning, June 21st, the day of the summer solstice. So somehow he has to return the lightning bolt, the master bolts, back to Zeus today. He has to get to New York, and he is in L.A., the other side of the country. And he can't fly. Not good. In the distance, Los Angeles was on fire. The plumes of smoke rising from the neighborhoods all over the city. There had been an earthquake, all right, and it was Hades' fault. He was probably sending an army of the dead after me right now. But at that moment, the underworld wasn't my biggest problem. I had to get to shore. I had to get Zeus's thunderbolt back to Olympus. Most of all, I had to have a serious conversation with the god who tricked me. So he wants to have a little bit of a battle with Ares, and that's the next chapter. It's called Chapter 20, I Battle My Jerk Relative. So after our encore field trip that we're having tomorrow, we'll continue the read aloud on Monday. I hope you guys enjoy whatever trips you decide to go on the field trip. Take care. I miss you guys.